Hello, welcome to Family Storytime. I'm Miss Amalia from Maplewood Memorial Library. So happy that you could tune in today. Let's get started. Clap, clap, clap your hands with me. Clap your hands and let me see. Clap your hands with me and roll, 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 roll your hands with me. Roll your hands and let me see. Roll your hands with me and pat, 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 pat your knees with me. Pat your knees and let me see. Pat your knees with me and clap, 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 clap your hands with me. Clap your hands and let me see. Clap your hands with me. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hi, hello, and how are you? How are you? How are you? Hi, hello, and how are you? Now it's story time. One more time. Hi, hello, and how are you? How are you? How are you? Hi, hello, and how are you? Now it's story time. Okay, so March is Women's History Month. So for today's story time, I'm going to share some books about women lifting up one another and rising above their challenges and overcoming them. So the first book is called Standing on Her Shoulders, A Celebration of Women by Monica Clark Robinson with art by Laura Freeman. Come sit with us, child, we have stories to tell. Listen closely, you come from a deep, deep well. Our mothers and all those who've gone before paved a freer path and opened a wider door. There's still plenty of work to do, but there's much to learn from what they went through. For we are standing on the shoulders of the strong, smart, sage, and soulful ones who have gone before us. Think of the one who mothers you. She's with you, even when you are apart. You're forever a piece of her heart. Speak her name. And the ones who came before her, generations strong, their words sing of grit and love, your family song. You are standing on their shoulders. Think of the legends whose lives made way for yours. Though years have passed, each story, each name endures. When you speak their names, they live on in you. You're standing on their shoulders too. Freedom seekers, truth speakers, fierce women, brave and wise, justice burning in their eyes. Warriors in the fight, marching for their right, believing in a day when women would have a say. Vote. Champions of equality, challengers of authority, peaceful freedom fighters, brave and bold bus riders, magic believers, dream weavers, revolutionary minds, their works echoing through time. Leaders of a new team, dreamers of a new dream, women fighting for their right, athletes of grace and might, speak their names. Keen and curious explorers, refusing to take orders, women who dare to defy, showing girls another way to fly. We are standing on their shoulders. When we remember them and speak their names, we respect the struggle they overcame. We are grateful for the freedoms they've given. We stand on the shoulders of powerful women, women who were little once, just like you. When we speak, Whisper, sing, and shout their names. We honor their lives and the rights we gained. We are all standing on their shoulders. Who will stand on yours? And in the back of the book, there are lots of photographs of all of the women and girls who were featured in the illustration. So if you'd like to learn more about them, you can check out this book at the library. Okay, this next book is about a brave pilot. It's called At the Mountain's Base. It's by Tracy Sorrell and illustrated by Weshayot Alvitra. And this is about a fictional Cherokee family, but Native women have served and continue to serve in wars while receiving strong support from their families. And in fact, Native women serve at proportionately higher rates than all other active duty, reserve, and National Guard service members. And one of those women, her name was Ola Mildred Millie Rexroth, and she was an Olagla Lakota pilot, the only Native woman among 1,074 women Air Force service pilots in World War II. And she risked her life towing targets for male student pilots to fire on for practice. At the Mountain's Base. At the mountain's base grows a hickory tree. Beneath this sits a cabin. In that cabin lies a cozy kitchen where a stove's fire warms. On that stove simmers savory goodness in well-worn pans. By those pans sits a grandma, weaving and worrying. Around that grandma gathers a family, tending and singing. Within their song unfolds a battle, testing and demanding. In that battle soars a plane, climbing and diving. Inside that plane flies a pilot, protecting and defending. Within that pilot forms a prayer, pleading for peace. Because at the mountain's base, beneath the hickory tree, sits a cabin. And in that cabin huddles a family waiting for her return. And here's the pilot walking towards the cabin. The end. Okay. The next book is also about going up towards the sky, but this is about a rock climber, a teenage rock climber, in fact. Her name is Ashima Shiraishi. And when she was a young teenager, she broke a lot of world records, and she actually started climbing when she was 6 years old, and today she's one of the best climbers in the entire world and the first female climber ever to ascend a V15 bouldering problem. And this book is illustrated by Yao Xiao, and it's called How to Solve a Problem: The Rise and Falls of a Rock Climbing Champion. So here she is, hanging from the cliff. And the story, it starts off in New York City. I'm Ashima. What I do is climb. What I do is solve problems, which is to say, I make them mine. We climbers call our boulders problems. We also call our problems problems, and to solve them both is sort of the same. Once I had a problem and it stretched into the sky. It was tremendously endless. It was bigger than thinking. It was as huge as the air or the night or the planet. It was a problem bigger than any I had ever seen. And I had seen plenty. It's this big mountainside. There were twists and turns. There were places that looked as slick as glass. One part was arched like a question mark. Another part stuck out like my father's elbow. In a photo I've seen of him dancing. And another was shaped like the bolts of fabric stacked in my mother's sewing room. There were so many parts, and none of them looked easy. I sighed and clapped my hands full of chalk, which is what I do before I solve a problem. I held this problem in my head. I mapped out every step, each place I would put my hand, and then I began to climb. So here's start down at the bottom, making a path, and her flag says goal. Dug my toe into the dot of the question mark, jammed my fingertips into the bend of my father's dancing elbow, kicked my leg over my mother's fabrics, and then for a moment, the world slipped from under me. I was climbing on nothing but air. She fell. She has something soft to land on. The ground beneath me rushed up and pressed into my back like the hand of a giant named Gravity. So I dusted myself off. Dad asked me how I was feeling. He passed me a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and for a while, we just sat there. Then, when I was ready, I looked at the problem again, with new information the fall had given me. Each fall is a message, a hint, an idea, a new way to move from over there to over here. And so I started, and so I fell, and so I climbed again, listening to what the fall had told me. The problem that was endless, which I broke into little pieces. The problem that gave me hints with each fall. And surely and quickly I climbed the wall. I dug my fingers there and here and stretched my arms like ropes. I threw my body through the air and caught myself in all the ways I'd imagined, a bright path of thinking. And there, at the top of the problem, I looked down at the bolts of fabric, the dot of the question mark, the bend of the elbow, and waved hello to the memory of how hard the problem was. And looked for one problem more. The end. I'm going to read a little part of this book. This is called Muslim Girls Rise, Inspirational Champions of Our Time by Saira Mir, illustrated by Aliyah Jalil. And this book includes many different women and girls, and I'm going to share one about a scientist and mathematician who reaches for the stars. So here it says, Rise, verb. To appear above the horizon, to increase in intensity, to attain a higher level, to come into being, to exert oneself to meet a challenge. People may tell you that you can't do something because of the way you look, dress, or pray. Your name may sound different. Never forget that you are extraordinary. You are powerful, brave, and clever. Great things come from people like you. Long ago, Muslim women rode into battle to defend their dreams. They opened the doors of the world's oldest library. They ruled their people, started movements, and spread knowledge. Today, Muslim women continue to make history. Once upon a time, they were children with dreams, just like you. Okay, here she is at NASA, and her name is Hiba Rahmani. And she says, "The experiences of my life have taught me to always dream big and to never give up." Hiba was fascinated by the magic of the night sky. During evening walks with her family, she would look up at the stars and wonder about astronauts who had walked on the moon. She loved science and math so much that at the age of 8, she wanted to be an engineer. Nothing would stop her. When war broke out in her country, Kuwait, Hiba escaped to safety in the middle of the night. She slept under the open sky in the cold desert. In that moment, she looked up to see a beautiful view of the stars and was reminded of her dreams. Today, Hiba launches spaceships as a flight control engineer at NASA. She hopes to one day become an astronaut. Hiba literally reaches for the stars. Muslim women make history every day. Some have risked their lives defending their beliefs. Others had to leave their homes for freedom. And all of these women followed their heart. By refusing to give up, they achieved greatness. Find your passion, and like these women, you will rise. The end. Okay, we're going to share one last reading. It's a poem, and it's from a book of poems, and it's called Bravo, Poems About Amazing Hispanics, and it's by Margarita Engel, illustrated by Rafael Lopez. And the poem that I'm going to read is about Aida de Acosta from Cuba, the world's first woman pilot. Airships, the thrill of seeing a man in a basket dangling beneath a huge balloon as he circles the Eiffel Tower here in Paris, so far from my New Jersey home. Lessons. I love the excitement of learning to soar. Flight. I'm the first woman pilot, but I won't be the last. Every little girl who sees me up here in the blue sky will surely grow up with dreams of flying too. And here's a picture of an airship. The end. So thank you all for tuning in for Family Storytime. It's time to say goodbye. My hands say thank you with a clap, clap, clap. My feet say thank you with a tap, tap, tap. Clap, clap, clap. Tap, tap, tap. We roll our hands and we wave goodbye. Goodbye, my friends, goodbye, my friends. I wish that we could stay. Goodbye, my friends, goodbye, my friends. Until another day, one more time. Goodbye, my friends, goodbye, my friends. I wish that we could stay. Goodbye, my friends, goodbye, my friends. Until another day. Bye-bye.